Hi, everybody. Welcome to our channel. My name is Sherry, and this is Lauren. And
Hello.
today, our topic is going to be on the importance of a CASA. And the CASA, the acronym stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. And normally, CASAs are assigned to high profile cases. However, it is really beneficial, regardless if it is a high profile case, it's really beneficial if you can get a CASA on your team because CASAs are the voice of the child. So everyone in court, everyone's represented, the parents are represented, the state, they're, represented, and this child needs to be represented. And one of the frustrating things in foster care is that the foster parent is not part of the case, even though these children live with you. So that is a very frustrating thing because you know the children that are in your home and you know how they're reacting, and to when you're not part of the case, it's really really frustrating. So if you could get a CASA, um, and it's very wise of you to befriend this CASA because the CASA will listen to you as a foster parent and will listen to you on how that child is doing at night, or when the child comes home from visits with the family, if there is behaviors that kind of escalate after those visits. It's very very crucial. I mean, you can share it with your caseworker, but there's no guarantees that that is going to be passed on to the judge. So, and anyway, so here's just kind of a rundown of a few things that, so as the child is in foster care, the average length of a child in foster care is 2 years. It could be a little less and it could be more depending on the age of the child, because the older the child gets, a lot of times they age out in the foster care system. However, the average length of a child in foster care is 2 years. And so the CASA, I believe it's a 2 year commitment, and every state is going to have their own length of time. However, the goal is for that is the one consistent person in their life that's going to be there, and they're going to get to know this child. So the child might jump from home to home to home, sad to say, but the CASA will remain with that child as long as it's in foster care, and as long as that CASA is still doing the CASA duties. The CASA is a volunteer position, but they are so, so crucial. So the CASA will meet with the child once a month, maybe more, depending on whatever is going on with the child. And so once a month, the CASA writes a report to the judge, and so some of the questions that they ask are like, what is going on with the child? What's happening in school? Where are they attending school? How is their health? When is their last medical, dental, vision? All these things, you have to keep up on all that. Are they in a stable foster home? Do they need anything like clothes or any needs that come up? How are they reacting in their visits with the family at visitation? Is there anything going on with the child? So the CASA writes up a report, and a lot of times in my situation, the CASA really listened to me as far as how these kids were doing and what their reactions were to the visitations, and that really played a huge part in all of our adoptions. And so in my last adoption, this adoption would not have happened if it was not for our CASA. And she hung in there with this whole case. I came in when they were in my care for, I want to say 3 years. Yeah, they were 8 when they were adopted. So they were in my care for 3 years, but she's been involved with the case for 8 years. So this was even before they were born. They were with the others. She was with the other siblings. So anyway, that's just my experience with the CASA. They're very valuable if you were wanting to be a part of something, but say you didn't have, you didn't think you could do foster care if you wanted to do CASA. There's not enough. They're very, very valued.
Okay, so yeah, I agree with Sherry on that. There aren't enough because we did not always have a CASA, and honestly, our two worst cases, thank goodness, did have a CASA, and as Sherry said, they were so crucial because they have a lot of weight in the courtroom, and the judge gives them a chance to speak, and I feel like the CASA it's kind of like they're neutral territory, and yet they represent the child because they're not, they're kind of like the in between the foster family and DHS, because they're not working for DHS, so it's like they're outside source, and super super valuable. I feel like they another thing I would say about the CASA is that I have heard from the ones that I've spoken with that it's a tough job. Well, like foster parenting, because you're dealing with really an intense situation, usually an intense subject, and so it's not for the faint-hearted. But they are just so valuable and needful, and they could become close to the foster, in my situations, both the foster family and the children, and they develop, thank goodness they develop a bond with the children, and the children look at them as a trustworthy adult. So that's pretty cool. And ours were they were amazing. I mean, ours would even bring like ours brought some gifts and like gift cards to my teen group. I mean, our CASAs looked out for the biological that was still in the home. It was just amazing. I appreciated them so much. I'm still friends with some of them. They're just very special people, and we very much appreciate them.
Yeah. In our case, on our last case, there was actually 8 kids. And so we had 2 CASAs. They teamed up together.
Wow.
So, this was a grueling case. In fact, not to talk bad about DHS, but as you go through this, you may have one way of thinking, and DHS has another. DHS was trying to get all 8 kids adopted under one roof. The problem with that, the abuse and neglect was so horrific that it would have been a guaranteed failed adoption. There is no question, because these kids had so many needs, and so they ended up splitting them up in 2, and the majority of them live here in the same area, so they're still able to see each other, go to each other's birthday, and so which is great. But it was the CASA that really listened to us foster parents, and I'm not up for splitting up siblings by any means. I mean, our mission in foster care was to keep siblings together.
Mm-hmm.
There are cases where if the kids are not safe with the other siblings, you have to think safety, and we try. Most of the kids are, like I said, here in the same area, and they still have those bonds, and all of them are doing really, really well. So,
happy ending. That's always good.
Yeah, it is, and a very, secure adoptive home. Everyone has been adopted, so they all got great homes, and it was great. So anyway, but CASAs are very essential. Again, if you would like to look into that, I would encourage you.
Definitely.
It is a very much needed area, and if you're into the court thing, it's a good way to be a part of that too. So,
Yep, definitely.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Lauren.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you guys would like, don't forget to subscribe and like and share our videos. We're here. We really want to be a support. If you have any questions, please ask in the leave us a message below, and we will be sure to answer that. So anyway, you guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time.
Right. See you next time. Thank you.